Okay, welcome everyone. I'm delighted to be joined today by Pippa Henry, who's a member of our football community, and we're here today as part of our Trans Allyship and Awareness Week, and we're delighted to be chatting to Pippa all about her experiences both in and out of football and their journey through life. So thank you for joining us, Pippa, really appreciate it. So let's start with your love of football. So where did it begin?
Right, well, it started years ago because I'm really old. It started off, I was a big Liverpool fan, still am, and I was never any good at playing football when I was young. I was always the last one to be picked, but I enjoyed it. But I always remember listening to the football on the radio back in the 80s, or probably even earlier, and being sent to bed by my parents and having my radio underneath the pillow and listening to the football. And I actually do remember taping it as well. So there were matches that I do remember taping back in the day.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of memories of listening to football rather than watching it.
When was your first experience of going to a match?
My first match I went to, it was an England schoolboys at Wembley when I was at school. It was more of a laugh on the train really, more than anything else. But my first match that I went to, it was Tranmere Rovers, and I was a season ticket holder for many years, and I remember the trips to Wembley in the Leyland Daft Cup and the playoff finals when we got to then the first division, and it was the second division, and it's a championship now, so that was good. Yeah, so lots of football memories with Tranmere Rovers as well.
So linking in with, you spoke there about following Tranmere and Liverpool. What will be your best Liverpool match you've seen and your best Tranmere match you've seen?
Okay, you've got me now. Best Liverpool match has to be Istanbul. It's got to be the Champions League final. So many goals down at half time, and I was watching it with my daughter, and I actually made her laugh that night. She panicked because I do anything for a laugh. And half time I said, if Liverpool win this, I'm going to get naked, I'm going to run up and down the street. And then the final whistle went and I threw my top off. And she went, no, you can't. But yeah, that has to be one of the best Liverpool matches ever. So yeah. It was.
And as a Liverpool fan, I'll agree with
Definitely.
that. I'll agree with that. So Tranmere?
Tranmere, right, there's lots of memories with Tranmere. I do remember the Leyland Daft Cup final when was it the Leyland Daft Cup final or the playoff cup final where we played Bolton? We won. I remember Chris Malkin scoring, and it was absolutely amazing. The whole of Wembley, half of Wembley went mad. There was loads of us down there. It was just a really good day out. Yeah. So I've been to Wembley a few times with Tranmere.
I guess the atmosphere as well was...
the atmosphere was great, and being at Tranmere Rovers before the main stand and we were in the cow sheds, it was a really good atmosphere.
We're doing this interview to provide an insight and an understanding to the football community, really, Pippa, about your journey and your transition. So for you, when did that journey and when did those thoughts first begin?
Right, well, we're going to go way back with this. I do have a memory from the age of about 3 or 4 when I actually wore a dress. And it's weird that you can have memories from that young. And that has always stuck in my mind to this day now, and it moved well. After that, I can't remember anything else until I hit the age of 10 or 11. So it was weird that I got that memory and I've got nothing else in between. But when I got to, it was high school, it wasn't high school then, but when I got there, I felt different to everybody else, and when I got to that age in school, we're probably looking 1981, 82, so it was a long time ago and times were different. And yeah, I had my friends and they were all lads and things like that. It was really good mates, but I knew I was different. I was in school and I'd see the girls in their uniforms and stuff like that, and I thought that's where I should be. But I didn't actually do anything about it because back in them days, I'd have been slaughtered. And it was a really tough time, especially with my mental health and things like that, because I had no support off anybody and I didn't tell anybody. So I just kept everything to myself. And it was like I was getting hold of girls' clothes for myself, and I was hiding them underneath floorboards in my bedroom. I actually lifted floorboards up so nobody could get them. And I was the tallest person in the house, so if I pushed them so far out the way, I knew that nobody could reach them. And again, I probably felt ashamed back then as well. And stupid things I did at that age as well. I remember dressing up and riding my bike, and I can't even remember what I was wearing, but I was riding around Birkenhead docks at 7:30 at night. And back in them days, again, it was a dangerous place to be, and I shouldn't have done it. And I even went swimming as a girl when I was younger as well, probably about the age of 13. And I remember getting caught by someone in my school, and he said, "I'm going to tell everybody." I said, "You're not." He says, "I am." So we had this row, and he said, I said, "If you tell everybody, I'm going to beat you up, I'm going to smash your face in." Because it was like I had to protect myself. And he said, "Well, you do that, I won't tell anybody." And I had to have a fight, and I won. So luckily, very luckily, it didn't get out. So that was then. And again at school, I was struggling with my sexuality, my gender. There was so many things, and again, it wasn't spoke of back then. There was no support of anybody, which I feel nowadays is a lot better to what it is, to what it was then. So it was really quite a struggle. Then I moved on to drama college, and again, the urges were still there to dress up, but being in drama, I could get to the wardrobes and I could try the costumes on when no one was around. So it was like, I was enjoying myself then. But then I met somebody and we had a baby, and what age was I? I was only young, I was like late teens, and we got married, and I regret to this day that I actually didn't tell her about me until my wedding night, and I shouldn't have done that. That was bad. So I always regret that to this day. But then everything then took a back seat because I became a father, and although I was dressing, I felt that I was wrong. I felt like I just shouldn't be doing it. It wasn't who I am. I was embarrassed. Why am I doing this? And my wife, my ex now, my best friend, she is, but she knew about it and she understood and things like that. But again, it was just, this is not what dads do. And it was,
it's a daily battle, isn't it?
It was.
And from when you were in school and you're having to hide it, to then you get to drama college and you want to be able to express yourself, and then suddenly it's back the other way again when you obviously become a parent and you have those responsibilities. So it must have been so tough on a daily basis.
It was, because I was hiding it, and again I ended up with 3 kids, and as they grew up, I was hiding everything. I was embarrassed because, like I said, dads shouldn't be doing that thing. And again, there was no support. I had no support of anybody. My wife back then was really supportive. She helped me as much as she could, but again, she didn't understand. You need to be in this position to understand it totally. So that basically everything went on the back burner then while I became a parent and did all the things that dads do. Growing beards and doing stupid things, and it was just like, everything just stopped, or it went, best way of describing it was it went underground for so many years, and that marriage ended and I ended up with another partner, and I told her straight away. Me thought I wasn't going to make the same mistake again, and she accepted me, which was fine. But again, my kids were growing up, and I still felt I was hiding and not being me, and I just felt wrong that I shouldn't have been here. and that relationship lasted 10 years. She ended that. That was about 3 or 4 years ago. And I found out probably a year or so ago when she ended it, why she ended it. She said, I knew you had to be released. You had to go out and do your own thing because you needed to be you.
Yeah.
So it was really understanding the way she ended it. And again, I've got no issues. We grew apart, and the gender issues with my partners has never been an issue. They've been so supportive all the way through my life. And then, what did we come to then? Through all this time, I was actually a DJ. I ran my own business, and again, being in them situations where you're seeing other women and they're all dressed up, looking really nice, and here's me in jeans and a t-shirt, doing a gig, and there was all these things. Like, it was mad whenever it came to doing a fancy dress party. It was like, I can let myself loose. I can get myself a costume and I can look good, even though I didn't.
Yeah.
But I actually felt that I could do something, and I was really impressed with myself. But again, I still didn't feel right. And
those occasions, though, few and far between, though, weren't they?
yeah, really few.
It's not like it's every week, or
No.
you know, you're not getting that opportunity.
It wasn't even once a year.
No.
But it was like, but I knew at these times as well that my urges were changing and the gender was growing stronger and stronger and stronger. But when you're a parent, parenting comes first. It really does. And I was a dad first. I still am. That is top before whatever I want to do. And when I split on the second relationship, I was working at a holiday park in Rhyl, and it was really good. I was single and I was living in a caravan, and I got to the stage where I'm single now. The kids are growing up. I can do what I want. And now I was starting to buy clothes, but again, I still felt wrong because I was still experimenting with who I was. So that was the first. I was on the holiday park for 3 years, and the first year was all experimenting. It was like, yes, I'm single, I can be who I want, I can do what I want to do, and I did for that year. And then the second year, the urge was getting stronger that I had to do something. So at the end of the first year, I spoke to my ex-wife and I said, I need to come out. I really do need to come out, and I need to tell the kids. I was like, what am I going to do? And she said, tell them, you'd be surprised. Okay, I'll tell them. And that was just a massive part of my life when I did tell them. And when I told my youngest, when I told my son, he said, don't expect me to call you mum. I said, well, I'm not your mum, I'm your dad. Doesn't matter what I'm wearing, what I look like, who I am, I'm still your dad, and I always will be. So I don't want to be your mum. I'm definitely your dad. And then when I told Emily, and she went, Dad, I already knew. I went, what? It was like, why didn't you tell me? And she said, I thought you had something worse. I went, no. I said, well, you could have told me and I wouldn't have had this problem. You could have helped me. And again, my kids are my rocks. They really are. They are there for me. I couldn't be more prouder of the children that I've got. So that Christmas, I actually spent with my daughter, and I spent with my daughter dressed. I was me for the first time. And I went to my ex-wife's house to see Bob, and again I was dressed, and I was starting to feel happier. I was starting to feel more comfortable in who I was, even though I was not at the stage where I am now. I was still hiding, I was still having beard growth, everything was embarrassing. People were looking at me, and it was just a horrible place to be in. But I was me, and it was what I wanted, and that would have been around, was it Christmas 2018 maybe?
Right. So you don't mind me asking, how old would you have been then?
How old was I? 2018. I'm 51 now, so it was before my 50th birthday.
Right.
So it was the late 40s.
So you've been on that journey for that length of time,
Yeah,
and only around 50 have you been able to feel
yeah,
like your true
yeah.
self.
And I purposely didn't come out publicly until Bob had finished his GCSEs. And if my kids would have said to me back then, Dad, no, we don't want it, I would have put it all away and I wouldn't have done it. God knows where I'd been now if I had have done that. I wouldn't have been in a good place.
Yeah.
But I didn't get that reaction, so I didn't have to worry about that. But there was no way I was coming out until he'd finished school.
Well, that was testament to your children and their love of you as their parents, that your happess was more important than anything else.
Totally.
And that's all you need to hear, really, wasn't it, in that sense?
Yeah, and knowing that I've got my family behind me, and yes, my kids still call me Dad, and they still call me he, because it's hard for them, and I understand them doing it. But I've got grandchildren, I've got 3 grandchildren. I'm known as Nan, and I'm known as she to them, because they don't know the other me. They don't know the old me, and it'd probably just freak them out. If like they start, well, I'd never be a granddad now, but if they had to call me he, it'd be like strange.
Does that feel special in a sense?
Yeah, totally.
That relationship?
Yeah, totally. Family to me is the most important thing in my life. I wouldn't be here now if it wasn't for Em and Bob and it wasn't for my ex Lorraine. If it wasn't for them 3, I wouldn't be here. I'd be really struggling. But they've really, really helped me to where I am today. And I think it was like after that I started the official process where I spoke to my GP and I wanted to be referred to the gender clinic. So that was about 3 years ago, because I've only just been seen now. But that's another story.